Namaskara. So today I have Dr. Veenapani Arunkumar with me. Born in 1965, she has completed her education schooling in Vijaya High School, Bangalore. She went to National College, Baswangudi, Bangalore, and then to GCIM, Bangalore. She underwent rigorous professional training from her grandfather, Pandit Sharma of Sharma Ayurveda Vaidyashala fame, Mysore. His uncle and guru, uh, Bishek Ratna, Y. Lakshmi Narasimha Shastri, was the founder superintendent of Mysore Ayurvedic College. He was also the founder of NKCA Pharmacy, a private Ayurvedic college, and the first chairman of CCIM, that is Central Council of Indian Medicine. She is a general Ayurvedic physician and she has completed BAMS from GCIM Bangalore and has more than 25 years of private practice experience. She is the co-founder of Sharma Ayurveda Vaidyashala and the founder trustee of Save Good Health Foundation. In Save, she has been healing the ailing since several decades through traditional Ayurvedic medicines prepared in their own center under strict supervision. Several high risk diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and others have been treated at their center. SAVE has always been and will continue to be a promising health betterment service center. The founder, Sri S.N. Sharma, served the cause of Ayurveda for more than 60 years and passed on this legacy of traditional and original roots to them, which has been continued by her and modified in ways providing complete mental and physical health. Welcome to our channel, Pen Name Madam. So let us start with the question. Please tell us something about yourself and why did you want to become a doctor?
I have always been wanting to be a doctor. I had some problem when I was a child. I burnt myself. I had about 40% burns and I was admitted to the Victoria Hospital.
Okay.
And the doctors there took so good care of me. And I just wanted to become a doctor and help others who were suffering. That was the reason why I became a doctor.
Oh, burnt in the sense, what was the reason for the burn, madam?
The hot water was boiling in a boiler. Those days we were having boilers in the house.
Yeah.
So my dress got stuck to that boiler and I just drew myself away from the boiler. The water fell on me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then I could sense what it was like. Very painful it was.
Okay. So why did you choose Ayurveda? Out of all the medical systems that we have, you have chosen the traditional Indian medicine system, Ayurveda.
Yeah, that is because when I began, I had good percentage in my PU class, and I had managed to get a seat in the Bangalore Medical College. I just switched over to Ayurveda for the simple reason it has been in the family since several years. So I belong to a family of Ayurvedic physicians who have been practicing since decades. We were making our own medicines and treating several challenging diseases. And and there was no one else to take over the tradition from the family. Though there was a huge gap between me and my grandfather's age, I decided to take up Ayurveda as the profession.
Very good, very good. And madam, can you please tell us something about Ayurveda?
See, Ayurveda is Shastra. It is not grandma's remedies, home remedies, or tribal medicine. It is a Shastra in the sense it has set up certain rules and regulations for everybody to follow to have a very healthy and peaceful living. See, if an individual is healthy and peaceful with the rules described in the Ayurvedic text, see, naturally, he will make everybody happy, the others also, and the entire environment will be very peaceful. Yeah. So the reason why you have to follow the rules of Ayurveda is, for one, you have to have a very healthy and happy living. And one of the main reasons why Ayurveda is becoming very popular is because of the present pandemic. Ayurveda is one shastra which is, though a very old medical science, it is the mother of all medical sciences. It can actually be used even to the current situation. So here what we have to do is, see, the whole system of Ayurveda believes in the Tridosha theory. The Tridosha theory,
yeah, okay.
Yes, the whole, it believes in the Tridosha theory, which is the Vata, Pitta and Kapha, which can be regarded as the creative, constructive and destructive forces in the body.
Okay.
So if there is a balance of these three doshas in the body, disease will not come. So for developing this kind of a balance in the doshas, you have to follow a particular type of regimen in your food and other habits. You have to be very strict with your food and also the kind of other habits that you develop. And that is how it is going to be beneficial to you. There are several unique concepts which Ayurveda has given to the world. The twin concept of prevention and cure comes from Ayurveda. So first of all, he says, swastasya swastya rakshanam tadanantaram aturasya roga parimarjanam. First, prevent yourself from getting, prevent yourself from getting any kind of disease before treating yourself for the disease. So the right kind of food and other things that have to be practiced to be very healthy has been very beautifully described. And once the disease comes, then again the kind of diet and medicines that have to be given is also very well described. So these are the twin concepts which even now everybody is following. Then there is another concept of Ayurveda which is very unique to it, which says that man and the universe which he lives in are not different from each other. So the elements present in man is also present in the universe. So there has to be a proper balance. Suppose there is some irregularity in the universe, it will reflect on the man. And then if again, there are so many disturbances in the man, it again affects the universe. So if you want to have a peaceful and healthy living, you should cultivate habits which are useful to, again, it's a very eco-friendly science. It says you should not disturb nature. Okay? You have to be very carefully handling all the aspects of the nature for you to be healthy and happy.
Okay. Madam,
Yes?
Does this concept relate somewhere to Aham Brahmasmi?
It does. See, the first thing is Ayurveda is actually, when it began, it is a part of the Atharva Veda. Okay, so Vedas are regarded as never, it has been there since the creation of the universe. It's not just about when the man got created, these Vedas and the Ayurveda came into picture. What happened was, see, when you were depending upon these yugas and the first yuga came into existence, man was very happy with his surroundings, he was happy with himself, and then
so you are talking about Satya Yuga, no, madam?
Satya Yuga. So in the Satya Yuga, everything was peaceful, and then gradually deterioration started happening in the thoughts and thinking process and action of man, which resulted in, ultimately, when it came to the Atharva Veda period, people started getting diseases, because of which they could not do anything. When you get afflicted with disease, you don't even have any patience to achieve anything in life. In Ayurveda, the first thing he says is dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolam uttamam. So the fourfold aspects in our tradition is that, see, for procuring dharma, artha, kama and ultimately moksha, sharira is the sadhana. Okay, that is the instrument through which you can achieve all these things. So dharma is the rules and regulations you have to follow to keep yourself and the society happy. Then artha is wealth, earning wealth, and kama is all the various desires. It could be your own house, getting married, or a beautiful car, and so many other things. Ultimately is moksha. So here we are, when we start treating a patient, we don't treat him for the reason that he has to get well and he return to his original habits and come back again to get more money with more diseases. The reason why we treat any patient is we will make him fit for his ultimate goal in life, which is self-realization. So that is actually, self-realization has to be done only through the body. Initially, though it appears like Brahma is different and the body is different and all that, your ultimate goal is to achieve that Brahman who is also within you. So we ultimately, though it believes in Advaita to begin with, it says man is not different from the universe. I told you earlier, there is just one consciousness. There is just one universal consciousness which controls the universe and also the man. They are not different from each other. One cannot be separated from the other.
Okay. Madam, in Ayurveda, just like the Tridosha, is there something called as Triguna, which is related to yoga, gunas?
See, again, see, yoga is a different shastra from Ayurveda.
Okay.
Yoga is a shastra which is meant for the ultimate achieving the ultimate goal of life, which is seeking Brahman. So Ayurveda is the stepstone to that particular achievement of the Brahman. So
Okay.
what happens is three gunas are those are the gunas of the mind. So it has sattva, rajas, and tamas are the three gunas. They've been
Yes.
classified as
Hmm.
the three gunas in the mind. So again, an equilibrium of all those things has to be brought about for proper functioning of the mind, and that again is done by the three doshas, which are always directly related to the food and habits that we cultivate.
Yeah. Madam, what are your expertise in treating diseases? What are the diseases that you treat?
See, actually, while treating diseases, we always take into consideration the Nadi Pariksha is again another unique concept which Ayurveda has introduced into the world. With the Nadi, we get to know the state of the two doshas. So once we actually, it's been very beautifully told in our text that diseases come and diseases go, but you don't even have to name those diseases, depend upon the doshas which produce the diseases rather than naming the disease and giving it certain titles and food habits and all that associate with the disease and all that.
Okay.
So instead of all that, what we have to do is we depend mostly on the three doshas, and balancing them is more important to us. And each imbalanced dosha will produce a particular kind of symptom. So based on that, we will decide what the disease is and then only treat. Now it could be the coronavirus. Then later it can become some other virus or something else. For us, what is important is the state of the three doshas in the body. So
Okay.
whatever dosha is not in the state of balance, it should be corrected by external factors like medicines and drugs. So
Okay.
what we do is basically we treat, though you call it diabetes or whatever, we actually treat diabetes, blood pressure, and we very well treat backache. So nowadays people come with backache and then they say the first thing when anybody gets a backache, he does is go to an orthopedic and find out what would have been the cause for that backache.
Yes.
So when they say they take all kinds of X-rays, MRIs, and other tests and
Hmm.
come, and then lot of the treatment would have happened. They would have taken a lot of painkillers, tablets, and so many other physiotherapy exercises would have been done. But still, most of the times they don't become well. When they come to us, they come with severe backache, and then we also depend upon diagnostics like MRIs, X-rays, etc. But we have a beautiful pack for the back, which is supposed to strengthen all the bones and the muscles of the back. So we treat backache very well. And then we have other cases of even psychological disorders like depression, anxiety, and
Hmm.
in children, ADHD also we treat. And then we have other normal cases of arthritis, asthma, and allergies. So depending upon the doshas, we treat them, and we just it's a general hospital where we treat most of the disorders.
Okay. So basically, you're telling whichever the disease is, whether it is backache or the coronavirus, you don't see the name as a whole. You just see the dosha. You measure the nadi, find out the
That is
dosha, correct the
exactly what
dosha.
I was going to do. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Madam, what do you have to say about this COVID?
See, again, I told you, for any fever, see, fever has been regarded as the most dangerous of all diseases in our system. So,
Oh.
amongst the diseases, first place has been given to the fever. And first chapter deals with fever in the Nidana Sthana and Chikitsa Sthana.
Mhm.
Nidana means diagnostics, and Chikitsa means when we start actually treating the disease. Okay? So, for us, Jvara has to be given a lot of importance. If you don't treat fever properly, it can lead to a lot of disturbances and disorders. And some of them can be so complicated that you cannot treat and the patient may lose his life.
Oh.
So for all these physical disorders, for us, digestion is the main, I mean, the stomach is the main cause.
Mm.
So any changes in the gut immunity can cause any kind of physical disturbance. So for us, the stomach is the main thing which has to be very clean. And once the patient comes, we always detoxify them and then start treating them. So for us, even treating corona or any other fever for that matter, we start off by making them fast.
Okay.
Okay, fasting Langanam is regarded as the best medicine for
L-
treating fever. A lot of rest we give them. So our way of treating a patient with fever, so
mm,
it would be giving him lot of rest, then hydrating him with plenty of fluids like ginger boiled in hot water. That is the best thing. It can digest the fever very well. And the last of all, we give them medicines to reduce the fever and
mm,
allow them to take a lot of rest. So whenever it is probably even the corona or any other disease for that matter would have been because of unhealthy habits by the person who's been suffering.
yeah.
And for us, all the diseases are due to knowingly doing things which are not correct. So there are certain rules. Like if you say don't stay awake for the whole night, you will be doing that for the whole night. You get up in the morning. So various changes would have happened in the body by then, and you will not be strong enough to bear the
Withstand.
onslaught of any virus or bacteria.
Yeah.
So whether
True.
it is a bacteria or a virus, for us, the immunity comes from within the digestive
Dice.
system. So
Okay.
what we do is we correct the digestive system first with medicines and then treat the disease. Initially, if it is properly treated, we don't allow the disease to progress. And the longer the duration of the infection, the more it will be difficult for us to treat.
Treat.
So you should be sensitive to the needs of your body. You have
Mm,
to understand your body. Now you again have to tell you one thing. You have reached a stage wherein nobody can help you in any way. No doctors, no ventilators, no oxygen or anything can help you. You have to help yourselves by understanding the nature of your body. Even the
mm,
slightest change you notice, suppose you have some burning sensation in your throat or nose, you have to be immediately careful, take a lot of rest, lot of fluids, and stay away from everybody. Take good rest and stay away from everybody so that you don't allow it to progress. You continue to do your regular work with all the symptoms, it becomes worse with every minute. So
that's
that is
true.
what, even with the corona disease, that's what is happening. So when the
Yeah.
patient presents himself with the grave symptoms, he would have had it for about nearly a week. So no corona can come within a day and kill a person. He would
True.
have
True.
gotten the virus. He would have gotten the virus at least a week or 10 days ago.
Mm,
Symptoms manifest after only a week or 10 days. So within this period of a week, he would have had several symptoms. If he is careful enough to observe all that, he can prevent himself from getting worse.
okay. Wow.
And
So.
nowadays it's
Mm,
presenting so many other symptoms. It's not just cold or cough or anything. The patient simply, when he comes to the hospital, even before the doctor can help him, he would have had breathlessness and died. And now
mm,
separate symptoms like gastrointestinal symptoms like
mm,
vomiting, diarrhea, and all are being noticed. So with
yeah.
each day, the symptoms are different, and in say different people, it is different. Then one more thing you must understand, you
Mm,
should be brave. It's like, see, everybody, there are people who have died of corona. And then there are people who are still living with the corona with these patients only. I have treated a lot of patients who have lost their family members and suffered from corona, but they have sailed through the disease. It can be anything. See, you should be fearless regarding this disease. And see, what you should understand the ultimate truth of life. See, everybody who is born on this earth has to die sooner or later. Okay,
yeah.
so nothing except the universal consciousness, which is controlling the universe, is eternal. Everything has to perish sooner or later.
Yeah.
So even the body of the human body has been created in such a fashion, it is able to set itself strong and then become strong to gain the ultimate knowledge of Brahman. That is why the human body is made, and it is much highly evolved than the other beings. So when you start with that goal in mind, you
Mm,
will be fearless. Okay.
mm,
So once you start, only when you want to realize what you are, that is when you start paying a lot of attention to how you live, where you live, and what you do. So
mm,
all those things make a lot of difference. And ultimately, you have to be very careful with how you handle yourself. It's a very precious thing. The human body is a very precious thing God has given to you. So ultimately, if you don't take good care of it, anything can happen. So you are responsible for whatever happens to you and nobody else.
Yeah.
Nobody can say when things go wrong with you. Certain practices have been proved to be very good for the human body, and you have to follow that. Those things have been being done since several years. So you can follow the same diet and regimen and continue. See, if you try to gorge on unwanted ice creams and so many other junk food, naturally, what is going to happen? The stomach gets totally disturbed. So you don't digest anything. When that is the case, you are susceptible to all kinds of infection.
Okay.
That's how it is.
So basically, it all pens down to gut immunity, individual initiative, and you start it by treating by, I'll use this phrase, Langanam Parama Aushadam.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, it is Langanam Paramaushadam and also Rogaha Sarvepi Mandagno. Every single disease is because of Mandagni or a bad digestive system. So once the digestive system, the digestive juices become weak, the body will not be able to digest food and give you the required energy to do your work. It will not get the required. It will not give the cells the required energy to perform their function. Naturally, they lose their strength and then they are very easily susceptible to any kind of infection.
True, madam. True. Um, can you talk about this? What is this immunity and gut immunity, madam?
So immunity is derived only from the gut immunity. So once yes, so whatever you take in should be a conducive food to your weather body. So here we also believe in food, seasonal food also. So whether when the season changes, you are susceptible to so many changes in the body, and then so many certain diseases occur during certain seasons for which you have to change your pattern of diet and regimen.
Yes.
So suppose whatever you eat in summer should not be eaten in winter or in rainy season. So you have to have in summer, for instance, you should have something which is light and then which help you keep you hydrated with lots of buttermilk and juices of lime and things like that have been prescribed. So in winter you can't drink the same thing. You can't take a lot of buttermilk in winter. So different diet has been mentioned for the winter. So when that happens, you start developing the right kind of this thing, the immunity in the gut. Okay, like whatever you get should be totally digested. So the meal that you eat in the afternoon should get digested in the night. Okay, whatever meal you eat in the afternoon should not remain undigested till the night. And then whatever meal you eat in the morning should have got completely digested by the evening.
Okay. So basically,
So,
Ayurveda is.
unless the whatever cells that are produced in the at the time after digestion, so it has to feed the food that you take has to feed every cell in the body. Suppose that doesn't happen and the food is faulty, the cells are not getting enough nourishment, then the whole immunity of the entire body reduces.
Yeah, true. So
And you become
Ayurveda is so holistic that it is region specific, climate specific, and individual specific.
yes, individual specific to a certain extent it is. And everybody is born with a particular prakriti. So the certain change, amongst the three doshas, one of them would have been prominent at the time of birth, and then you will be declared as that kind of a prakriti person. So if you are sensitive enough, fine, you can just adjust your food and lifestyle according to the prakriti also. That is even more beneficial.
Can you tell us about your immunity kit, madam?
My immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been, like I told you, we've been practicing from the past several decades, and we have come up with this immunity kit, which consists of a kashayam number 1, and then there is this kashayam, 2 types of kashayam we have. One is this kashayam number 1, and there is another kashayam which we use in the night, and then we have a lashun tablet. If there's lashun tablets are there, we have what is called a Karpura Shilajit, which is another powder which we use in the night. And we have another powder which is called Samira. And we have a chewing tablet.
Okay.
So Samira and a chewing tablet and a sniffing powder. We have a special powder called the sniffing powder. And we also have a face sanitizer.
Okay.
this kit contains a good number of medicines. So the intention is you have to fight whatever the disease that may attack us through food and even external sources. If it is going to come through your eyes or nose, we have a special sanitizer powder which you have to wash yourselves with. It's been recommended since ages that you have to wash your face and hands, and in fact have a bath before entering the house. You have to leave all your slippers outside and then come in. Most of these rules are made for the simple reason that you don't get infected yourself and infect others in the family. That is the reason why it is that. So we have this Kashayam 1, which is very rich in, this Kashayam 1 is actually Amrutottamam Kashayam, which contains Amrutvalli and so many other ingredients. And these are all, they reduce fever, and they're all very good. They produce proper digestive enzymes to reduce fever and also help you in digesting the food and assimilating it in the proper manner. And then we have these Lashun tablets, which contains basically garlic. And garlic is supposed to be very good for all kinds of infections, especially the infections due to the bacteria which affect the lungs and the sinusitis and other disorders where bacteria and virus infections are there. This is a very garlic plays a very good role in treating all of those things. Then you have another powder which is taken after food in the afternoon, which is called Samira, and this has mainly Bidanga, which is again it's almost on par with our ivermectin, which is being given for the corona disease of late. It is an anti-parasitic. See, the funniest part is nobody knows whether it is just the coronavirus which is responsible for all the symptoms at the time of death, or the viral infection has been superimposed by some other bacterial infection within the hospital, and several factors can be the cause of death in the person who has died of, say, corona disease. So this is done with the intention of killing any bacteria, protozoa, or even the virus. So this has to be taken after food in the afternoon with honey. This is one of the drugs. And we have this sniffing powder. Sniffing powder is Nasyam is a procedure which is the treatment procedure mentioned in our text. So they say, whenever you go out or come back home, you have to inhale the smell of tulsi and certain other very powerful powders like vacha, tulsi and all, which are all anti-germs. It is germicidal. It can kill bacteria and viruses which enter through the nose. Actually, when the virus is there everywhere in the atmosphere, everybody is getting affected by that virus in one way or the other. If you are immune to whatever is outside, you can remain safe. So the entire air, the atmosphere is filled with that virus. It's not present in just one way, or it's not being thrown out by just one person. It is there everywhere. So even if it gains entry, it naturally does. When you breathe in air, it enters your nose. But here, after entering the nose, the pattern of the virus, that is what they have studied, and they are saying, when the virus enters the nose and it gets lodged deep inside the nose and in the floor of the mouth and the nose, it starts multiplying there. So it will remain there for 2 or 3 days. That means, like I told you, the infection would have occurred a week at least before the actual manifestation of the disease. So what happens when the virus is still inside the nose? If you sniff this powder, you sneeze, okay? When you sneeze, you'll be throwing half of the germs outside. That is the reason why some of these sniffing powders are made. They are medicated powders which prevent bacteria from going into the respiratory tract. It will be arrested and either you throw it out or it may even get destroyed there. There are very powerful germicide powders. Okay? And then one more thing is it induces watering in the eyes. So if you start sneezing and watering starts in the eyes, then whatever tries to enter through the eyes also will be thrown out. That is one way of protecting yourself from the onslaught of any foreign body. And you have another, with the same concept, we have a chewing tablet, which you have to retain in the mouth when you go out. So that prevents any bacteria or virus from directly entering the gut or the lungs. So that way it gets destroyed within the mouth itself. It will not allow the thing to go inside it.
Okay.
So that is very important. Once it gains entry into the lungs, it becomes very difficult for anybody to treat. I can also not treat a patient with a person's lungs who is already infected with the virus.
Yeah.
And
Damage.
as soon as the virus gains entry, it will start multiplying and it does destroy all the cells of the lungs. Then
Okay.
there is clotting, and then so many things happen a day. And one more thing with the problem is, why is it so difficult to treat this present pandemic is that postmortems have not been done to understand the nature of the
Oh,
disease. So
okay.
once anybody is diagnosed with any corona or something,
Hmm.
nobody wants to do postmortem and see why the death has happened. So I believe some Italians have done lots of postmortem, and they have come up with the idea that it is not just the virus which is responsible for this. They're all bacterial, more bacterial infection than the viral infection. So many things are being said every day. They
Hmm.
say there's one mutation of the virus, and they say so many symptoms are with every mutant virus there is a different symptom. So
Hmm.
ultimately, it all boils down to how the patient takes it. If he is healthy enough to fight it, he will fight it and get over it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, he will succumb to the disease. That is
Yeah.
what is important. So we have this chewing tablet, and then we have the sanitizer and the sniffing powder,
Hmm.
and we have the Kapura Shilajit, which is like Dolo 6, the Dolo tablets, which
Hmm.
reduce fever.
Fever.
This is also to reduce temperature and
Okay.
keep the sense of nausea, vomiting, and all which come with the fever will come down with this Kapura Shilajit. So
Okay.
this is about the kit, and
So,
like
basically, your kit is addressing comprehensively all the problems which are caused because of corona. That is, first is that sanitizing the hands, then the nose because of that sneezing, then the tears, eyes are taken care of, then the throat is taken care of, and then finally the lungs. It's very comprehensive. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Mm.
because depending upon the symptoms, also the kit has been made, and depending upon the Ayurvedic mode of treatment, also it has been made.
Okay.
So here, Ayurveda is based on it is based on Anumana Pramana. Like you infer what is going to happen. It
Hmm.
depends on logic and inference. Whereas the modern system of medicine believes in seeing everything particularly by itself. So
True.
for seeing the cause of this death, also they have to conduct more postmortems. Then only you can select and make some medicines for the disease without knowing the cause of the death. You will not be able to find out the actual medicine which can work on the
True. 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 True, madam.
disease causing pathogen.
Yeah, true. Madam, you have treated patients with this kit, no, madam? So, what is the
I
response
have
of
been
those?
treating young number of patients with this kit.
Yeah,
There are a lot of patients in my kit.
uh, what are the
Almost
response of these patients? How are they
no.
responding?
Right now, RT-PCR test has been regarded as one of the main tests to
Yeah,
diagnose
true.
the coronavirus,
Gold
corona
standard.
disease,
Yes.
COVID-19. Yes, but my patients before they start off the treatment would have tested positive for this RT-PCR. Okay, and after normally the procedure is once the patient has been tested for positive with the RT-PCR test, he
Hmm.
will be quarantined and kept away from everybody for some time, say 14 or 15 days.
Yes.
And then he's let loose. Most of the times, the symptoms recur after 20 or 21 days. You don't know whether it is totally free of infection.
Hmm.
So, what I do is after the RT-PCR test, I don't know, many people are approaching me for this kit and I give it to them. And they start off the medicines as early as possible.
Hmm.
And once they start, within about a week's time, they start becoming totally normal, and they have tested negative also.
Oh,
So
okay. Hmm.
it's not being done with just the corona case. We only depend upon like I told you, the balance of the doshas and the state of the physical body and the mind of the patient also. You see, once you start feeling well, that is it. Okay. You don't need
True.
any test to tell you you're well and all that.
Hmm.
But then you should be totally normal. The hunger should be normal. Sleep should be good. You should be feeling thirsty, and everything should be normal. Once you're
Hmm.
feeling like that, it is good. And then if you go get yourself tested, the test also will show
Negative.
negative result.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's that's
So,
how we usually.
is
Yes.
this kit available in market, madam?
No, actually, when I went, I even sought permission for making this on a large scale, but
Okay.
then and promote it across the city or country or
Got it.
whatever.
Yeah.
But permission was not granted by the ICMR,
Okay.
where it was said that a lot of research has to go into this. So, as for
Hmm.
doing any kind of research, also we need lot of patience. One thing.
Okay.
Secondly, we need time. And
Yeah.
then this is one system which does not, like I told you, if you start waiting for the medicines to act and then the results to come, you would have lost most patients by then. So you can't simply wait. Whatever has been prescribed according to our text, we have to use and try all those drugs and start treating them. So if you are, like I told you, this is based on logic and inference most of the time. And now you have also some of these test results. The funniest part is some of those people with RT-PCR negative are showing several severe symptoms of COVID and dying because of the disease also.
Oh.
Then there are people who test negative and still die of corona symptoms.
Hmm.
So that is if the test is the yardstick, you can't trust it. That is how it
Yeah.
has become nowadays. So all
Okay.
you can do is you have to feel good for yourself. Only
Hmm.
then you will know it's been working.
Okay.
So that way, we even the lab tests have proved that these medicines are working.
Hmm.
So these are being used since time immemorial. So and again, what the main thing how it worked was again setting right the doshas. So
Doshas.
that way, and these medicines are they probably you cook them when you say a kashayam, you
Hmm.
have to cook it so much like you take only one part of this powder. I say half a teaspoon only. That's what I'm giving them, just
Hmm.
half teaspoon of the powder. You cook it with 4 glasses of water, boil till it's reduced to just half a glass and
Hmm.
drink half a glass. That means by the time it comes to this half glass, it would have reached a nano level. It would be so tiny. All the things, all the essence that is present in the root would have got transferred into this kashayam. That is how
Okay.
probably these kashayams work. So a lot of, if you are really interested in that kind of research, you can further do it. There is no problem. But I don't have the facility to do that. And right now, these kits are available only with me. So whenever anybody wants it,
Hmm.
we are just sending it by Dunzo or any other professional couriers and other things. But
Okay.
it's being sent everywhere. People
Okay.
are
So if
taking it.
people want to access this kit, how do they need to contact you?
They have to call my office,
Okay.
my clinic, which is in Jayanagar,
Okay.
and call up and make an order for it, and it will
Okay.
be home delivered.
Okay. So it's home delivered. Okay. That's nice. Okay.
Yes. Because we don't want to, if the patient is already positive, for two reasons, we
Yeah.
don't want him to come to our place. One is he may infect everybody on his way to the clinic.
True. True.
Okay,
True.
he has to come from his place, like he may infect if he's coming by auto or something, he'll infect the auto driver and everybody on his way to the
Hmm.
clinic. And then the rest is the most important thing when the infection occurs. He has to take total rest. That is very, very important. And especially even the slightest exercise can make it very bad and kill the patient. So those are
Okay.
the reasons why it is home delivered all the time. So you have either, again, we had a problem with these Danzo and so many other guys. They wouldn't come and collect anything because of this lockdown and all.
Hmm.
And so we had to arrange for some volunteers. I automatically, some of my own patients volunteered to carry the medicines to their places. Even
Okay.
that has happened.
Okay. Nice. Nice, madam. So, do you wish to tell anything to our audience?
Yes, that is what it is. See, the human life is very precious. So the ultimate goal of human life is again self-realization. You might have known, like there are several people, like to the extent of multi-billionaires who have lost their lives due to this disease. So it tells
True.
you how the materialistic world is not beneficial to man in any way. So
Hmm.
there is everybody has come with a goal, which is for according to us self-realization only. So if you have to live a happy and peaceful life, you have to be very careful in how you monitor your day-to-day affairs,
Yes.
and which should be very good for yourself and the society at large. So universal health and happiness is what is the goal of our science.
Okay.
So that is the ultimate goal. And then be very careful with how you conduct yourself, what you eat, and how you behave, and all
Hmm.
that. Because everything matters. Once there is fever, which is going to be, it is always, in fact, in Ayurveda, it says that the man, when he's born with fever, and when
Hmm.
he dies, it is also due to fever only.
Oh,
Even if it is an accident, but there's a momentary increase in temperature, and that's the increase in temperature is what is called jvara or fever according
sure.
to us.
Hmm.
So that momentary increase in temperature happens, and that happens only at the gut level. So the entire agni, or the fever causing principle, is always in the stomach. Okay,
Stomach.
so you have to be very careful with your diet and the food and medicines that you consume, and please take the guidance of the right physician. There is one more unique aspect of Ayurveda, which says for the treatment to be effective,
Hmm.
the doctor who is treating the patient, the attendant who is treating the patient, the rogi himself or the patient himself, and the medicines used, all these should be very good and very effective. Only then the treatment can be effective. So when you start treating yourself, take the help of a good physician. We also do counseling. You may
Yeah.
have others also who may be successful in treating all these disorders and symptoms. So you always approach somebody who knows the science, who has been trained by a guru. So here, this is a vidya which is learned guru mukena.
Hmm.
So I have lineage over so many others because I was trained by my guru and my grandfather. Okay, so you have to be trained by someone, and then you should be able to treat properly after knowing what the patient is really suffering from. It can be corona, or it can be
Hmm.
a regular fever or something else. Also. You don't know. So you have to be very careful. So same thing, same size doesn't fit all. You have to be very careful, and then approach the right doctor who can guide you, and then handle yourself very carefully.
Yeah, very good message, madam. Very good message. Thank you for being with us, madam. You told so many things, so much of light you spread upon the Ayurveda, then the Tridoshas, then the gut immunity, then how your kit has been designed so as to address various aspects of COVID, and you have to take proper treatment from a proper physician. That is very right. Thank you very much for being with us, madam. Thank you.
Namaste.